AI, empowering the next billion users to ask questions on data. He's a B2B lead gen expert, self-learned techie, growth marketer, and a LinkedIn thought leader who has changed the way of tech product marketing through education and story. 8 years ago, she used to be a chef, but is now a cooking tech marketing strategist. She's Facebook She Let's Tech, TEDx speaker, and was named in top by NASCOM Startup Women Entrepreneur Awards 2019 by Ministry of Informatics and Information Technology by Government of India. I, on behalf of everyone, welcome you, Preksha ma'am.
Thank you so much. I was on mute, sorry. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad to have made the cut actually. I've been contacted almost over 3 weeks back, and I was really excited to see how students and how everyone in the, this industry is trying to understand about technology. So it's exciting to be here. Thank you everyone, and thank you for joining us.
So before we start, I would like to call upon Dr. Atmaram Pawar sir to share a few words with us.
Hello, good evening. So it is very pleasure to have a webinar on the artificial intelligence by the experienced and the respected speaker. And I appreciate the EDCL and all the students of Bharati Vidyapeeth, Poona College of Pharmacy for making such events successful. So this whole event is organized by students only. So they are finding the talent around the globe, and I'm very happy that today also we have the very good speaker. And all the best for the students and this webinar. Thank you.
No, you're not audible. Where is Pawar sir there?
Continue.
Yes, sir. So shall we start?
Yeah. All the best.
You may start now. Huh?
Oh, sorry, your voice is not audible. May I start now?
Yeah, you may start now.
Great. Hope my voice is audible to everyone. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. The audio is not clear.
The video is not clear. I'm so sorry about the bandwidth over here. It rained recently, so it's fluctuating for some reason.
Audio is not clear, ma'am. There is some kind of screechy humming sound.
Yes, that was not me. Sorry.
That might be no go now.
Okay, yeah, it's not there anymore. So shall we start now?
Yes.
It's fine now.
Great, awesome. So guys, I'm gonna share a small PPT with you because with the
You are muted.
Yeah, hi. So now I'm audible to everyone. That's cool. So guys, I'm going to share a small PPT with you because I think with the help of visual clues and some images and some maybe videos, you'll be able to see what AI is doing today. Even before that, let's talk about what movies has shown us. Like, there are multiple movies about Blade Runner and Star Trek, which made us think like that in 2020 we'll have flying cars, and we don't see those anywhere, which is kind of a disappointment. But again, not just that, we have still made a huge leap from where we were. In past 5 years, I must admit that the technology world has evolved like none other. Like the kind of innovations that happen in AI specifically has covered most of the domains itself, and similarly, it has also covered the medical domain. I may be able to find some examples to quote on the same, but let's start with the basic definition in the beginning. I'm just sharing my screen. I hope it's visible to all.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Great. So I don't want to start with this. We will come back to this screen. This is something that we work on. Personally, we have created, but we'll start with something which covers more of the basic definitions. Okay? So you must have all heard about artificial intelligence, and you must be hearing it time and again in context to everything, right? So what is artificial intelligence? That AI is a computer being able to interpret human decisions all by its own. So, using a computer to perform some kind of task, you know how Alexa or Google Home expect when you give them an instruction? That is what a small form of AI looks like. So there are multiple examples of visual recognition, speech recognition, natural language processing, pattern recognition, language translation that AI covers. We will cover a few of those over here, but not all of them, of course. But even before we talk about some examples in AI, let's talk a little about machine learning. So you can look at AI as an umbrella under which machine learning resides. Machine learning is another umbrella under which pattern recognition, image recognition, computer vision, and your other kind of automated tasks, they reside under it. Machine learning is a way where you can create a knowledge base for the machine so that it can learn on its own. Machine learning is there are various kind of machine learning. There are reinforcement learning, and then there are deep learning methods that helps machine learn a few patterns and act according to the instructions by making its own decision. So computer sees millions of examples. Computer makes model to map inputs to output. So if you show them, so the true meaning of machine learning is if them show them one set of data, looking at that, it should be able to make a decision on another set of data, which could be of similar genre. And if it's a really advanced system, it could be of different genre as well. Now, this a lot of people must have seen already. This was something, this is a bot called Spot made by Boston Dynamics. And you know what it is used for right now? Recently, one of the companies, they wanted to map their shop floor, their factory floor, where for human to, it was so huge that for human to map the area was quite difficult and cost intensive task. So they use Spot, which has computer vision cameras, 5 of them, to map the area. So they have brought in almost, I think, 30 sensors, and these are right now crawling through the floor, trying to map the areas within the factory floor. But this is something we would want in our backyard, isn't it? This is something exciting that we would want to actually get our hands on. But the difficult part is that working with AI and robotics, it's a little costly right now. Reason being, robotics itself is a very cost intensive sector. So we stick to more of computer-based AI vision. Now look at this. It always like gives me a chuckle because
It's
while
so
we were
cute.
thinking, yeah, we have been thinking that we will be able to have assistants that will do some chores for us, maybe get a tea, maybe wipe the floor clean. But look at this. This is where we are, and this is where we are making. In fact, Japan is more crazy about these kind of technology, where it's making patterns of recognizing for robots to understand that like this is where I can dance to this tune, this is where I should dance to that tune, sort of thing. It's fun, but it's not very useful for businesses because you are amused right now, but you will not be for a long time. So let's move on. Now we have a little bit of understanding of what is AI, right? Artificial intelligence. I will go into how to build it, but how to build it as in you are not gonna learn to program it, but a conceptual theory of that. But before that, let's learn about what we were thinking that artificial intelligence is and where it is right now in reality. So there are three types of artificial intelligence: artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. Now, when you look at, let's start from artificial super intelligence because we do not have a lot of evidence over there. So it will be a short topic to finish. Um, Anyone has seen, okay, I don't know if you guys can vote or maybe just put this in comments. Anyone has seen movie Her or a Transcendence?
Ma'am, you can put a poll if you want.
I can. How do I do that? Polling,
Uh,
yes.
do you have the option below?
I found it, yes.
Yeah, so you can put a poll over there.
Who's the best? Poll is, I don't think I can edit the poll. Um, let me just put a poll out there. Guys, give me a minute. Sorry, I'm making everyone wait.
Fine.
Okay. I cannot see the option for that. Can you put a poll for
Yes,
me?
ma'am. Sure.
Thank you.
Can you just repeat the question?
Question is, which movie have you watched? Now I'm giving you the option.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Which of these movies have you watched? And the option will be Her, Her. Should I tell you the next option?
Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm able to
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so while Shruti puts up the poll out there, let me just talk about a little more the kind of experiences we were expecting of flying cars or talking robots or maybe an artificial intelligent therapist, because that is something I think a lot of use cases that people in medical industry talk about, that this is the aspiration, and even if you can find someone to assist the doctors, nothing like it, because there is so much data to absorb about the patient that is there. So how do we make sure that we can get some really business sensitive and intelligent machine that helps the therapist and helps the doctors do their jobs better and serve more patients at the same time? Are you ready, Shruti? Sure, I can.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Great. So write down the option. It's Her, Her.
Yeah.
It is Transcendence. It is Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be Minority Report. This everyone must have watched. I'm pretty sure it's an old movie with Tom Cruise. Minority Report. Okay. amazing movies. You guys should watch it if you have not so far. I like to watch sci-fi movies because it gives me a sort of vision, sort of things that people have thought about, what their aspiration has been. Because of course, many people, many scientists, many engineers have worked to create this kind of fiction as well. So the aspiration is very much closer to what people would want to see. Yes, her Transcendence, Ex Machina, Minority Report. Ex Machina would be EX, but it's fine.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, guys, give me the results over here.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Guys, please quickly do this. We have 10 seconds before I move from here. Hmm. Now, most of them have seen Minority Report. Of course, he's a handsome guy. So, yes. So, in Minority Report, though they have this entire concept of creating a human-like regenerative stuff. I don't know what to call it actually. Now that was the level of artificial intelligence where the machines were trained to create. It was not in Minority Report, but different movie. Minority Report had a lot of fictional machines actually that were helping display what a human was thinking, and that is an amazing thing to have. That is an amazing capacity to have when you can map visually what a human is thinking, and that's something that machine has to do. Machine has to learn to recognize the mental signal and be able to describe something like that. So you can look at something and classify it as a super intelligence, but that is something might not happen for very long time, like not even in our time actually. So what is there now is artificial general intelligence, which you I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but this is something which relates to machines where they can take decisions based on their own understanding and not being able to not being have to be trained about something specific. Let's say that uh, when you look at a machine like Alexa or Google Home, they are an example of artificial narrow intelligence. That means that only one of their senses, one of the domains that they look after, one of the studies in machine learning that they look after is the only part where they can take a decision, and that too is very training intensive. Whereas when you look at artificial general intelligence, it is something where it can make multiple decisions based on some set of data. It can include pattern recognition to computer vision to natural language processing. So it is doing multiple functions based on the same set of data. That is something which is called artificial general intelligence. Now I have had questions where people would say that AI will take over our jobs, and if the rate AI is growing at, it is going to soon replace us. But that will not happen. Human is a very complex being. Apart from emotions, they have ability to make multiple decisions based on the analytics that they are doing in real time. Machine can do analytics in real time, but it cannot make a decision because there are facts which are unstructured facts that it will never take in account. So far, anyone have any question? Do we have any questions so far?
Guys, if you have any questions, you can post it on the YouTube live as well as over here. We'll coordinate if you have any questions.
So guys, this is some examples to give you more idea that artificial super intelligence is so out of scope that you can only see it in movies. But artificial narrow intelligence versus artificial general intelligence, we feel that we are closer to creating a general intelligence machine than we will ever be to actually super intelligence. Now, in artificial narrow intelligence, they have been systems which can beat you at games, which can read facial expressions, because you must have seen those examples of students creating these machine learning programs where when you smile, it can mark that you are smiling, or based on your facial expression it can show you a emoji, right? Then it can also write music. I think there's the latest music by Alicia Keys that she is right now composing, where she's taking help of an AI.
Wow.
Yes, it's amazing. It's an Australian-based company that's helping her out. Then it can also diagnose mental disorders. Comfort part is a little far-fetched actually. When you talk about diagnosing mental disorder, that means that when you give it enough data, it is being able to recognize that how the ECG mapping should look like for someone who is in a better condition than those ones who are depressed or distressed at the moment. So this is not only limited to a mental disorder. This is also being done in recognizing X-rays and recognizing behavior patterns and studying people. In general intelligence, this is a little difficult at this moment, but if machine can understand abstract concepts, like it can understand paintings, that will be amazing. That is some some sequence of decision it has to go through to be able to arrive at some kind of result looking at an abstract painting. Explain why. So there are always insight in data, and while you look at the insight you always wonder why. Explaining why is something that human does all the time today. If you diagnose someone, if you see something, you always think about why this thing has happened, and that most of the times gives you an idea on how to treat something. Tell right from wrong, that means they need to have that cognitive sense of decision making, right? Have emotions, can't be done right now. Be creative like children. There is some success over there where machine is painting, creating some art, but in business use, sorry, in business use, and to be able to make it commercially viable, I don't think it's possible right now. It's all in research phase. Okay, this is a perception project for self-driving cars. Now, you have seen that Tesla has already launched autonomous vehicles, and there's this other company which are trying to launch the same thing right now. But this is how the cameras on all the sides make sure that the car is at a proper distance for everything else that is surrounding it. It also keeps looking at the forecast and the route that it's taking, and kind of pick the right route for you, right speed for you, depending on the traffic, and keeping itself safe from the surrounding. So this is like sort of an example of computer vision. I think I have another example. Okay, I'm just going to check if I have another example. I wanted to show you something. Okay, I don't have it right now. Anyway, so let's move forward to now. If you remember, the second slide said how to build it. So there are 7 steps, and this is not talking about how to program AI system. This talks about how to prepare for it and what to look for when you plan a product like that. Because a lot of businesses right now are experimenting with AI, but the experience has not been very great. There have been multiple millions dollars that companies have spent on AI research, but they couldn't make it viable for the business. So the idea is to if there are multiple models available out there, how do we make sure that people are being able to use it? And that is why Google has not Google has OpenAI. OpenAI is another platform. Google has opened its own AI developer platform. Then there is something by IBM, something by Adobe, where these giant companies, which have already done a lot of research, have made small packages, small bite-sized packages that companies can use, that developers can use within their organization. All you need to do is find a problem, create the scope for the problem, put a team together which understands how to make those pieces work, get the data, test, optimize, and then scale. So all in all, think of these um, these nuggets that's on the platform as a Lego block, where you can pick different Lego blocks and make a ship, or sometimes you just want to make a plane, sometimes you want to make a cycle, right? Just pick these blocks, make something that works for you. So we'll go through this process of selecting, because I am pretty sure, and you would know as well, that you are not expected to build an AI machine. You are not expected to, straight away go and pick something that, and it will. The idea of AI is to make things easier for you and not harder for you. So that's why all these Lego blocks which are being built is free to use most of the time. But if you do not understand the problem, if you do not know how to solve certain things using these blocks, it's of no use to you, right? You'll still have a lot of cost that will go in your team. A lot of time will go into creating, putting this team together and creating this solution, and that might not even yield any result. So you'll just think like that AI doesn't work and it's all, big balloon of imagination. So this is how you work towards the problem. Okay, you need to find the pain point. The bigger the need, easier the sell through. So as I earlier mentioned, that artificial narrow intelligence is the only thing we have right now access to. That means each block has a specific thing to do, but you put some of them together and they make a workable solution. So when you're trying to find that for this particular problem, and try to keep it a very narrow problem, right? Don't try to think that I will put an AI machine over there. I'll not need these three people and I'll not need to do these kind of chores. That will not happen. Which may happen. What may happen is like I will put AI system in together. These three people will be able to easily do what they were doing already. I can make the process easier for them. I can make a few of the tasks automated. That is what is going to happen. Okay. So what is the outcome that you want? It's very, once you have recognized the problem, you can either jump to a huge conclusion thinking that everything will be automated, or you can go and find very specific point that I will consider this project successful if I have done 1, 2, 3, 4 things. If these 4 things can be covered, then I will think that this project was successful. And then you have to meet the user. You have to go meet those three guys, ask what their real problem is, why the process is slow, what they think can help them increase the efficiency. And at some point, you will realize that they don't even know that how machine is going to help. That is an AI engineer's job to figure out that which of the parts can help in solving the problem that they have stated. Sometimes these problems can just be emotional problems. So you are not motivated enough, then you can get that robot that you saw in the beginning. Okay,
That will make us laugh for sure.
I'm sure it made me happy when I saw it. So you have to figure out the scope. It's like, you cannot have project going on for days and days, like months and years. It will yield no result. By that time, someone else will have an amazing product which will be doing so much better than what you thought you will build. So you need to figure out a timeline. By this time, I need to get to this kind of efficiency with my machine. What resources you have, if you have team, if you have, what do you call it? And, but if you have the machines, if you have team, if you have the environment to support it, and if you have the infrastructure, okay, that's what you have to look at. And then you have to look at the budget. What is the minimum budget required for you to make sure that your model works? You don't need to make the entire project, just make the model work so that you can get some investment on top of that. Then we have team. It is very difficult to find a team trained enough in AI and ML nowadays. But I'm just going to go through. It's not of much use to you, but I'm just going to go through this anyway, because at some point, I think in coming years, we all will be taking decision around AI. So you can hire ML engineers, you will need software engineers, you will need to make sure that they come from different backgrounds so that your AI is not very biased or very, like adheres to norms of certain geolocation. It needs to have multifaceted role, right? It needs to take decisions based on how most of the people in the world or of different ethnic group would want these problems to be solved. Otherwise, it will not work on a global scale, and then it's going to be such a waste, right?
Hmm.
And multi-function team will be required. As I keep saying, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the videos I do on LinkedIn, but I definitely believe that every job role, no matter where you are, uh, will need education of AI, machine learning, data analytics moving on. Your roles are not very specific anymore. Everyone needs to know a little bit of this, understand what it is and how they can use it so that they can partake in decision making. Because whatever you do, you know that you are going to have some or the other kind of involvement from
अभ्यास करायचा मॅडम ने.
can we put someone on
Yeah,
mute
yeah, yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Great. So now we will talk more about augmented analytics. Reason being that our work is majorly around augmented analytics. So what is augmented analytics? That means that we are giving machine enough knowledge to create an insight based on the data it has been fed. So far, machine learning can only give certain kind of answer based on the output and input given to it. Okay, but that means that if you have trillions of rows of data, if you have 2-3 petabytes of data, you won't be able to give insights about everything to the machine. You will need some kind of automation there so that without having to look at a training set of every data set, it should be able to make some kind of decision. That's where augmented analytics comes in the picture, okay? So it is a mix of NLP and NLG. Now, NLP is kind of an umbrella, which is natural language processing, under which there is natural language generation and natural language understanding falls. In this, natural language understanding means that your system is being able to understand multiple languages, and figuring out the intent is also very important for it. That means that, when you say why versus what, the intention of what has been asked has is changed, right? So natural language processing is systems ability to understand the human language and react to it, or like create it into some kind of query, which is now written over here. And natural language generation is systems ability to formulate the answers in human language. Now, why is the emphasis on human language? Because you have everyone has used Google Home at some point, I'm pretty sure. I'm just couple of weeks back, I met a very old lady downstairs, near my house, and she was looking for an address which I could not guide her on. She just opened her Google Home and she asked Google about the address she's looking for, and it fetched the Google location of the address. And I was pleasantly surprised that someone of someone elderly is being able to use something that simply, because I was thinking that only the youngster are fascinated with these new machine learning AI systems. So now so we decided that we need to figure out how we can make analytics easy for everyone, because it's required in every domain, no matter what you do. So at some point you will need to know that how do I analyze a lot of my data and figure out what insights are there that can help me make a better process, save some money, create efficiency, maybe forecast on certain things so I can manage my budget and my team better. This is a little more technical. This is where we show you that how it is interpreted. So NLP translates business query to system language. In fact, you must have used chatbots. You have seen chatbots. You know that chatbots are being used by websites. They are being used by doctors to also book their schedules, right? So when chatbot is built, it is trained with intents. Okay, that means if you have 5 questions to ask, or your 10 customers ask 5 kind of questions, I am going to write the different kind of variations of the same questions. For 10 customers, I'll write 5 variations of 5 questions. That means 25 questions. Now, if you have 100 customers, it is going to be much more difficult. That means that I am going to write 5 variations of 5 questions for each one of them, and I'm going to point all those questions to the right answers. And that's how chatbot really works. That means you have the questions, you will ask the question, it will map your question to one of the answers that was provided and then show it to you. Okay. So what we do, however, we build the query on the go by natural language understanding. So we understand what you have said, and this is what is being shown over here, that we will create a business query based on what we understood from the question, then fire it to the database, and then we will answer your question. I'll just show you how it works in reality. I'm sure you will like it. Is my screen visible right now?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Great. So look at this. This is one of the dashboards which is already available with a multinational company actually. And these are the AI suggested questions. Okay. On the right side, all the questions you see is few popular questions that either people have asked or the AI has suggested they should ask. Now, I can simply ask something like, for Texas, which are the top cities by profit for the last 12 months. Okay, I'm just going to do this so you can see it. So this is the natural language question that I asked. This is how the data showed up. It was reading 50 million rows at the moment, okay? And there was no lag while it did that. And this is the English summary that it has created, because not everyone can interpret data like this. I can also talk to it and ask questions like something like, what is my sales and profit for Texas and California? And also show me phone sales. It did not get Texas actually.
But still, it was quite intimidating.
I'm just going to ask it again. I think there is a lot of noise already here. What is my sales and profit for Texas and California? For last 12 months.
Wow.
It's cool. And I can also show a chart over here. But maybe my question is, my data is not connected, it seems like. So I'll just check a question over here. So it is as simple as this. You ask a question, you get an answer. That means everyone who you were relying on to create your answers from the data sources, they might not be able to help you anymore. Cool. So this is where we are, and this is where the world is going. So you can expect to see some amazing things coming forward. Now, I would also like to show you something deeper. This is an Excel generator. Okay, sorry, this is a SQL generator. SQL is the main programming language if you want to talk to data. And this is an AI sequence where you can simply ask a question. It will generate a long or like whatever you need kind of SQL over here. That means no more coding. And this is just the beginning. We are doing it for front end as well. This is my co-founder Saurabh, and this is maybe just like to cartoonize ourselves. Great. So it's all from my side. Is there any question that I can answer for you guys?
Yeah, there are questions pouring in.
Okay, great.
Uh, yeah. So I'll start asking questions.
Sure.
The first one was relating to what you said before.
Mhm.
AI is supposed to replace human beings and actual jobs. Then why are we even trying to develop this technology? And is there a possibility that AI will probably destroy humanity in the future?
It will not. It will not. So ultimately, AI is being powered by human. We are the one who are giving them instructions to do anything. And if you have noticed, we talked about artificial super intelligence. We talked about artificial narrow intelligence and general intelligence. Okay, so general intelligence is something we can still achieve in 50 years, but that means it can probably take two decisions. If you ask your bot to get tea, it probably will be able to get you cookies, but that is it. It is not going to destroy you, and it is not going to take over the machine and eliminate monsters like you see on movies. Don't worry about it. As the AI is evolving, also the job roles are evolving. Also, how we make things efficient is evolving, right? So there is someone who's required to train to make machines intelligent. They cannot be intelligent all on by themselves.
Okay, so there's another question. Can AI and bioinformatics be clubbed and make boom in the industry with advancement in the public welfare? It is by Meher Kale.
Hi, Mehak. I am not very familiar with the medical industry, but what I can assure you on the on the bigger picture is that every industry has a lot of data, and so should it be with the bioinformatics. That means analyzing certain patterns in the whatever you analyze. I'm not sure. So in that area, the analyzing something, coming to a conclusion, recognizing new patterns, and recognizing new fauna maybe, or new cells, or new kind of viruses should be very easy, because now machine is going to look through all the databases, look through everything that you have collected so far, and then make a decision based on and give you the anomalies, which right now is very human way of looking at things.
There's one more question by Vaibhavi Srivastava. She's asking, in what terms computer aid is different from AI?
Computer 8.
Yeah, AID aid.
AIT. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that. Let me just quickly see what AIT is.
AID.
AID, computer
Yeah.
aid.
Yeah.
If she can just share the full form of this, probably, because for me it shows up as a company. Computer aid shows up as a company. I don't think it is a different product. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next question by the same one.
Mhm.
Is does AI has the same precision as that of a human mind?
Oh, absolutely not. I have been working with it for some time, and it's extremely disappointing. So, even if we get a very small result, I remember in initial days, even if it can recognize me smiling 1 out of 7 times, I'll be happy as hell. That's how bad the training is right now. However, same as the case with natural language, but we were able to get much more successful with that.
So there's one more question. With our increasing dependence on AI in daily life, how do we make sure that AI follows some kind of ethical guidelines and is not misused?
Yes. So governing bodies are putting ethical guidelines in place for AI. There are other networks and other forums which make sure that these things are being used with utmost care and within the guidelines. Also, it is as it has always been, that if we have technology in the civilized world, all the unethical elements also are creating some kind of technology within themselves, right? So AI cannot be barred from being used like that. But yes, maybe there could be some too few of those systems, maybe some kind of machine code can be put there, which can enable, which can disable this kind of usage.
There are a lot of tools like PyTorch, I don't know how that is pronounced, and TensorFlow and others for ML and AI. Which one is the best to be mastered for the coming future? It's on YouTube, this question.
Okay, so you're talking about PyTorch and you're talking about TensorFlow. Now, PyTorch is a Python library. TensorFlow is a framework by Google. So now, guys, they both have few similarities, but they are different things altogether. You must learn Python in order to use other libraries that are out there to run machine learning. But also TensorFlow is an easy Lego block kind of thing where you can utilize a couple of pieces that Google is providing out there.
Okay, ma'am.
Also, I'm sorry, I'll just add to it.
Yeah.
Only today I have added a new post on LinkedIn. I probably will share it in the comments somewhere, where you can go and check all the courses which are free on Udemy today on ML and data science. Data science is like a bigger umbrella for all of these things. So, avail those things.
Okay, ma'am. For those participants who are asking questions related to AI in pharmaceuticals and healthcare, we'll be covering that topic in large by tomorrow. So you can post your questions over there for the same. So we have the next question. Yeah. No, this has been done. Okay, fine. So there's one more question I had. Can we ensure that AI is safe from hacking?
Uh, so now, if someone hacks AI, that means that they want it to perform some kind of task. Okay. For that, AI will not function on its own without a bunch of information right now. So even if it's hacked, it won't make much difference. That is one point. Second point is, to an extent, yes, because there are multiple, set of works which are going on to make sure the safety, the internet safety is there, because all the hacking, uh, whatever you do, all the hacks, everything which is inconstitutional happens from outside. If it's happening from inside, you definitely cannot do much about it. But if you have some outsider attacking your system, you can make an air gap kind of system for yourself. It is, if you think it's vulnerable, if it's that kind of data.
So there's one more question. Being not a technical background student myself, I wanted to ask how and where can we learn the basics of AI? What computer languages are preferable, and do I actually need to be an AI developer to understand the core use in pharmaceuticals?
Okay, no, you don't have to. Absolutely not. I am just going to share one of the courses which I think is amazing, and I share it with all my clients as well, because they also are trying to understand if how they can use machine learning and AI better within their systems. I have simply just shared two links. One is for all the courses which are free on Udemy today, and where you can go get enrolled in these courses and learn data science and some machine learning processes. There's another course which is basics of AI for everyone, which talks about the definition of all the elements that we talked about as well, the examples, how you can use them, and how machine learning is being used. Don't worry about if you are not from the same background. These technical differences are being bridged by these kind of courses and systems. So anyone can learn anything right now.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time. So we have this trend where we ask everyone about books and websites that they would recommend. So do you have any books that would help us gain more insight into AI or into being an entrepreneur?
Yes, I can give you something for entrepreneur. For AI, I have been reading so much online that there are no books that I can really suggest you right now.
Uh,
Uh, and I don't think any advanced book has been written so far as well. On entrepreneurship, one book that I follow very religiously is Impossible to Inevitable. It is by Aaron Ross. I think it's an amazing book where people start to build something. They have a lot of, there's a lot of cloud around what decision to take and how to take it, what traits to look for. Maybe you can have a read of it. It's an enjoyable book altogether. I have few private questions over here, Shruti. I don't know if you can see those, but guys, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can take them now that we are running out of time. Well,
there's a big question, but I'll just cut it short. That the person is saying, he says, will robots steal our jobs?
no, they will not. They will not. I don't know. Unless you are picking boxes somewhere, it's not going to happen.
Okay, so I guess that's it.
Tabish asked me if I am chewing something. No, I'm just chubby Tabish.
Okay, so that's it. We have covered almost all the questions.
Great.
Yeah. So I would like to give a vote of thanks. So thank you, Preksha ma'am, for this amazing session. It was indeed very insightful, and I learned all the basics of AI that I was lacking personally. And I would also like to thank Dr. Atmaram Pawar sir, who gave us the permission to organize this session. I would like to thank Ashwin Mali sir and Satya sir, who helped us organizing and arranging this event. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants who joined us today, and be present for tomorrow's session. You'll be getting more insight into the pharmaceutical aspect of AI tomorrow, and be present for both the lectures to be eligible for the certificates. Ma'am, personally, thank you. It was indeed very nice to have you with us.
I'm happy to be here. This was a good interaction with students, and that too after a long time of lockdown. So I was almost forgetting how people are curious about this. This is a
Yeah,
great
it is.
experience. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you everyone for bearing with the technical session.
Thank you, ma'am. So I shall end the meeting now.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Take care. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.